thank you for your patience. I know you've been waiting. I've been on my grizzly. I ain't really been gone, but I'm sorry you had to miss.
I started Live Loud Music. It used to be Live Loud Music, but I started that in what it was 2012, 2013, and I was just kind of doing my own thing with that for a while until I ran into to me and Biz. Started talking on that tip, and then I kind of put it to the back burner and jumped on GOM, and went through my transition and everything, and so it's back to it pretty much. But since probably about 2013. My mom, she pretty much raised me in the church since about like 4 years old. Everything else that I seen in my family, from my uncles to cousins and everything like that, it was the complete opposite. So I kind of got both sides of things. Got old enough to kind of do my own thing or whatever, start doing whatever I want to do, and pursued music. I've been doing music since I was probably about 11 years old. And I always said I wasn't gonna go to college or whatever, so I continued to pursue music. Opportunity to sign a record deal with Slip and Slide Records. It wasn't like boom boom. It was 2009. I had the Slip and Slide situation and everything going, and I was down in Miami or whatever, down there smoking with some of my peoples or whatever, and God just began to deal with my heart out the blue, bro, like out of nowhere. It was crazy, dog. I'm high out my mind. My people's out high out their mind. We just talking, chatting. We ain't talking nothing about God. You know what I'm saying? So I called Mon Dukes. I called my pastor. You know what I'm saying? Letting them know, like, hey, I'm about to come back to the crib. Like, 2009, moved to Orlando. Well, the end of 2009, I moved to Orlando. And I've been running my walk since then, since 2009, the end of 2009. And of course, me and Biz didn't do our situation till 2017. So it's been a little gap in there where I kind of just been running by myself. But I was going under a different name. I was under T Strike. So some people know me from back then, and a lot of people only know K Allico. You know what I'm saying? Some people just getting on now at King Allico. So it's definitely been a process, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like a, skip and a hop.
Yeah, I definitely came in during the K Allico era. Actually, I just ran into you at that No Strings Attached with GOM, and that sound and CHH was shifting.
Right.
I mean, there was a complete shift in the sound that was coming from Christian hip hop, and your sound was becoming more, I guess more, it was brought to the forefront, right? With artists like Aha Gazelle and 1K Few getting signed by Reach Records. And you had that sound coming where you had that rap and that sing, and you know what I'm saying? That's when I was really like, okay, K Allico is now like in rotation on the chart, right? Like he's here now. Right. So with No Strings Attached, that one actually spoke to me on so many levels. You had some very powerful videos from They Don't Know.
They don't know how it feel to be real, but they don't feel what you feel, so they judge from the outside.
To some more.
Lord, I need you some more. Cause lately I'm tripping, lately I'm slipping, lately I'm drifting. Nothing like I was before.
And both of those was like in constant rotation, because what they did for me was they really ministered to my life, bro. I coined a phrase that is kind of off the scale a little bit. I mentioned it on Facebook. I think y'all commented back on it, but I was talking about real nigga Christian hip hop. You know what I mean?
That was you.
Yeah, that was me, bro.
My wife was tripping
because I feel like real niggas need the gospel. At the time when there was the shift, I knew that it was gonna hit the streets in a different way. That category, like that sound that the streets would connect with, it seemed to be taking hits left and right, and I saw it kind of happening in the spirit because Sevin retired.
Get it in, how I get it out. And we was in the wind, you was in the drought. For the Lord I did cool, and I did without. You ain't gonna play about a rope, nigga, sit it out.
I'm stepping down at the height of my career because I love Jesus more than I love gospel rap. Because I love Jesus more than I love seeing my own name and my face on a poster.
Thank you, Jesus.
People ask me, why are you doing it? Because God told me to. Oh no, brother, you shut up. Don't get at me like that. Don't ever tell me to disobey the Lord, man. I'm only alive because of him. He don't need me to do this. My obedience. He said that if I don't obey him, I'm a liar when I say I love him.
Thank you, Jesus.
And I was like, whoa, that was one thing. And then Aha left Reach.
Yeah, back then they didn't want me, now they love me now. Mike Jones on them, getting in and stop flexing and pull up on the chrome on them. Don't you think for 1 second I won't go Victor Stone on them. Thought they had me figured out, like, yeah, I know what he's about. But then I drop a G to, yeah, I started singing songs on them.
And I was like, what's going on? And then you was off of GOM. You know what I'm saying? And that happened like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, man, what's going on? So I guess a real question is, what caused you to leave GOM? Like, what was that all about? Like,
It was just pretty much it was me, God dealing with me about things. It was, you know, a lot of people try to, you know, want to speculate and try to make it into like, you know, a beef thing or, you know, bad blood between me and B. It wasn't no bad situation or nothing like that. It was just pretty much I feel like, you know, you have the permissive will of God and you got the perfect will of God. Permissive will is you trying to do it on your own, and God will permit you to, hey, I'm gonna just let you do this so that you can understand and see. You know, I experienced a lot, like, you know what I'm saying? I you know what I'm saying, did things that I hadn't done before GOM. You know what I'm saying? Being on the label, I traveled to places that I hadn't traveled before. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. You know what I'm saying? Great experience. You know what I mean? But God pretty much just dealing with me, man, and told me to step down. And so I had to obey that. You know, it didn't make sense to me. You know, so I know people on the outside looking in, looking like, man, what is bro doing? Like, but it didn't make sense to me. But I knew it was God, so I knew that it would eventually make sense. You know what I'm saying?
My obedience. He said that if I don't obey him, I'm a liar when I say I love him.
Thank you, Jesus.
When you have a personal relationship with God, man, and you walking with God, and you know you hear the voice of God telling you do this, and you don't do it, and then you see how it go. You keep on going through that enough, and then you have the moments when God tell you to do something and you do it, and you see the fruit and the reward of it, and it's simple. You know what I'm saying? You spend enough time with him, you walk with him, you be around a person long enough, you'll learn. The only thing was the platform, mainly the platform. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Biz been in this thing for I don't know how long, and he been strongly building GOM, and he got a platform. He has an audience. You know what I'm saying? And that was a plus. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, pretty much I'm already developed as an artist. I know how to record myself. I know how to mix, master, engineer, make beats. I know how to do everything. So like when I came to Biz ain't have to do nothing but say, okay, these are songs we're gonna select and pretty much put it out there. You know what I'm saying? We shot a couple visuals. But I mean, you know, I already got a videographer, you know what I'm saying, that I had before Biz. That's nice. So I pretty much had everything. So I don't feel like just me being away from GOM is really gonna hinder me. It's just all about God's time. Whenever God feel like, okay, I'm ready to do whatever I'm gonna do, you know what I'm saying, then yeah.
So do you feel like you're ready to like lead a nation of people?
I am. I know you probably like, well, you know, bro, you second guessing or whatever, but nah, I am. I just know what I'll come with it. Most people just gonna look at the situation like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people about to know me. I'm about to be doing arenas. I'm about to be doing this, that, and the third. And they just look at that aspect of it. But you know, the Bible tells us to whom much is given, much is required. And I have seen what comes when, you know, God has given me little spurts of elevation.
Right.
I've seen what come with it. So to know for God just to be like, boom, and drop that mantle, that's a big responsibility, bro. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I'm just like, but at the end of the day, I know that that's what God called me to. So if he called me to it, then he'll guide me through it, bro. And that's how I just, you know, keep that in mind. Pretty much God pretty much was dealing with me after the whole GOM situation and stuff like that. Cause I also had, like I say, I didn't quite understand it. I ain't even gonna lie, but I knew it was God. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Abraham didn't understand what was going on when God was telling him to sacrifice his son, but you know, he still obeyed. He knew it was God. But for the project, the meaning of the project, God began to deal with me after the fact of everything, because I ain't understand. Like, you know, God don't always just be like, do this, and then this is why I'm telling you to do this. Like, a lot of times he just say, do this, and then you have to just trust that, you know what I'm saying, whatever reason he telling you to do it for is for the, you know what I'm saying, for your benefit, you know. So basically, God began to deal with me because I began to think like, man, what what am I gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm stepping away from GOM, I'm stepping like I'm going back down. Like, you know what I'm saying? The object was to elevate, but I'm going back down now. You know what I mean? And everybody else around me, my team, looking like, you know, they was on some, you know, bro, we good now, we straight, we done made it. But then after that happened, everybody's looking like, bro, you tripping. So, you know, me and Biz had this talk or whatever, man, and so I just began to pull on God, man, and he spoke to me one day. I was watching some movie, like a little Christian movie or whatever, and God spoke to me. And that was the message that he gave me. He was like, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? He was like, it don't matter. It's no matter if you independent, if you on a major label, if it don't matter who you sign with, like, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you go, I'm gonna be with you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that I'm with you because you with these people or this group of people. He was like, I'm with you. So, you know, that was the word that he gave me that encouraged me, man, to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just like, everybody gonna see what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as you stay faithful and you continue to obey me, it's gonna make sense to everybody else later on. And so just to encourage people, you know what I'm saying? And even to go beyond that, even when you think about like you might have family members or something like that, you know, they probably been thugging, you know, they probably still in the streets, they probably drinking, they probably out here wilding. And a lot of times people look at people like that and be like, you know, God ain't with you. You know what I'm saying? God ain't with them. They got this going on, they got that going on. So you know God ain't with them, but God is with us because we over here and we, you know, quote unquote, we got it together because we saved. But God began to deal with me on that tip too. And he took me to the scriptures that said, you know, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I had a plan for you way before the foundations of the earth was even put in place. I had a plan for you. So if that's the case, then that means that when I think about my life, because I ain't always been saved, so that means to tell me that God was already with me from the get-go. And you know, it now when you go to talking like that, it can kind of get, you know, people kind of like, okay. But if God is saying, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. So basically what that tells me is, you know, you can't never count nobody out and you can't never give up on nobody. And you got to be careful of who you come against as well, even being a believer. You know what I'm saying? Because you might be coming up against somebody thinking that God ain't with them, but if you coming up against somebody who God with, and they following, you know what I'm saying, the rules of the Bible, and they ain't trying to get no get back, and God say vengeance is mine, then you finna be in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? So to enlighten the body, you know what I'm saying, to understand that you don't never really know who God with, you don't never know the plan that God got for people's lives. And just like you had to hit that awakening point, before that awakening point, you had so much stuff going on. And you know, people probably wrote you off and counted you out, but look at you now. You know what I'm saying? So God is with us is bigger than, you know what I'm saying, it's bigger than than what it seems. It's just big, man. It's just to encourage people, man, you know, not to give up hope, not to lose hope in God, man. So that's pretty much the ultimate objective, man, is to reach the people of God, man. God people ain't just in the church, you know what I'm saying? God got some people out here on these street corners, in the trenches and everywhere, you feel me? I deleted, he told me to delete all my social medias and everything like that. So I had to I started all the way from scratch, bro. After I stepped down from GOM, I just didn't do anything for a minute, period, for a few months. But then when God gave me the green light, he was like, scratch all the social medias, you know what I'm saying? When I do what I'm finna do, like, I don't want nobody taking credit for it, not even yourself. It was so crazy because, you know, we did a joint with Steph Curry. Steph had followed me on IG. You gotta, I need you to get rid of your social medias, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody handprint on what I'm about to do except for mine. I'm just like, damn, okay. So, but it was tough with that IG. Like I had to got rid of everything else, bro. Then IG, I just kept on looking like, dang, God, Steph just followed me though. But it's a true story, bro. Plain James can vouch because we was on tour when this happened. I was talking to Plain James about it, man, and I was like, man, you know what? I know it's God speaking, so I just gotta go ahead and do it. So I finally got rid of my page, bro. Opened a new page. The next morning, bro, when I woke up from a DM from Steph and a follow to the new page already. All right, God. I'm like, dang, okay, God. It's really real. Like he been showing me along the way though. Like I know it's him, you know what I'm saying? Even like I say, sometimes you trying to figure out, and that's just even with everyday life, sometimes you're trying to figure out things that you don't really know, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know God is who he is. You know that he's an unfailing God. He ain't never failed you. He ain't never, you know what I'm saying, just left you out there on the limb or nothing like that. So that alone just give you that hope that you need to just, you know what I'm saying, trust and believe in what he's doing. But, you know, that's what, you know what I'm saying, it's impossible to please him without faith, man. Faith calls you to believe when you can't see it, you know what I mean? So
right.
Was the name changed from T-Strike to King Allico initially. So Allico is my city where I'm from, but it's spelled backwards. I'm from Ocilla, Georgia. So Ocilla spelled backwards is Allico. Pretty much God gave me a word that he was gonna allow me to rebuild my city because I'm from a real small city. 2 stoplights on the same street. You know what I mean? You'll ride through it and you won't even know that you done passed through a city, you know what I mean? But it ain't nothing to do there, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no outlets for the kids. It's just like, it's almost like a trap. You know what I mean? The only thing you really can do is turn to the streets because you don't got nothing else going unless you a bookworm. And so pretty much God had and gave me a revelation that he was going to allow me to rebuild my city, man. And he gave me the name. And I took it on. I didn't even when that happened, when God spoke to me on that, I didn't want to do that because I felt like I had put in too much work on the T-Strike. You know what I'm saying? Like from 2009 up until 2017, everybody knew who I was by T-Strike. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even want to do that, but I knew it was God, you know, so I acted upon it. And but the significance is just pretty much God, he's gonna allow me to rebuild my city and understanding who I am in him, that I am a king, you know what I'm saying? I'm a joint heir to the throne of God. Walking in that authority and operating in that. And that's been one of the things that I have lacked over the years or whatever, that why I would say that I wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying, over the years for what we were just talking about earlier. But now where I'm at, I'm in a place, in a position, man, where I understand whose I am and I understand who I am. And it make a world of a difference, you know what I'm saying? When you know who you are, nobody can't just come and tell you, you know, that ain't who you are, this who you are. The enemy can't just give you another identity and, you know, expect you to just take it and embrace it and run with it when you know who you are. So, you know, pretty much that was the two purposes for the name change. So it was supposed to be King Allico when I got on GOM, but Biz was just like, nah, you know, it's too many people with the name King this, King that. It's like, nah, we got to do something else. So he was just like, let's do K Allico. And I was like, all right, cool.
And you know what? For the longest, bro, I thought it was Calico.
People start like just ignoring the period right there.
Yeah.
And just saying Calico, and Biz was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, nah. I said, bro, you already done took me from a king. You trying to take me from a king to a gun, bro. Like,
Yeah, already.
You know what I'm saying? Then I had that, I had my dreads and stuff, so I had that image. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I am who I am, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't here to just, you know what I mean, be on that. Like, that's the thing of the past. So,
right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what a lot of people had started calling me Calico though, bro. I just kind of just let it fly.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I can see how with the name change, the platform, and then people automatically just kind of gravitating to calling you something, how you can just let it fly, and how that can be a portion of you having to lay hold of what you know God said is yours. You know what I'm saying? He was like, so now you gotta, I can see how that kind of works together. So man, just so you had to make sure that people knew that it wasn't Calico, that it was actually King Allico. You left GOM, you dropped the project, God is with us. It's so the depth of the title now, it has a whole new meaning since we done broke that down. What's up? This is your boy Hercules, Redeemed Entertainment, King Allico, Live Loud Empire. Follow him on everything. Make sure that y'all go out, stream the music. It's hard. Share it with somebody that's close and near and dear to the streets, because they need to hear what he got to say.
It's everywhere. It's on pretty much every digital outlet. You got iTunes, you got Apple Music, you got Google Play, Amazon, Tidal, pretty much wherever you get your music from, it should be there. So King Allico, KING ALLICO is the name, how you spell it. I'm on social media. All of my social media is at King Allico. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everything.
Anything you want to tell the people before we let you go?
Hey, man, I love y'all, and God bless y'all, man, and God is with you, man. I'll never forget that.
We gon' party out there. It's a vibe in this beat, like on the beat, boy. Yeah, and we gon'